Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We're starting the meeting of the Board of Assessors of June 21st, 2022. The first order of business is the approval of the previous meeting's minutes. Motion to be approved. Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Motion passed. It's on the agenda. We have a personal property that you can. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, we got some changes here and some things we got to talk about. Yes. On page 3, there was a mobile home owned by Cincinnati Mobile Home Principals, which we needed to remove from the digest, so it was valued at $5,666. We removed it, made it 0. They basically took the mobile home away from that property, so it no longer existed. That was counted. And that's my administrative changes that I have. And I need to get you to approve that, and we'll go through it. Independent motion to approve the administrative changes. The great motion that was approved the administrative changes and by staff. Second. Give the motion a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is settlement agreements. We have the settlement agreements with Brian and Steve that basically did it with 19 properties, 19 accounts, and page 5. It's the spreadsheet on page 5. And as you can see, the agreement basically went from roughly 1% to 7%. And the only one that went to 7 was Happy's. Happy's furniture company. The rest of them pretty much stayed under 5 grand, 500. Next,
we have like an idea what the difference is.
The new value is assessed. The new value is overall. No, I didn't do it overall value because all different companies. So it's because it's telling all the Harbor Freight, Cisco, H&M, Gordon Foods, Ingalls. So they're completely different companies all together.
Yeah, I was looking for it. Just a total.
Like an overall text. It's not this. But I can't think. I don't know the difference. Yeah, the difference. Next on the agenda is car appeals. The first one, which is 2009 Nissan Maxima. The value is 46. The state's value was 46.75. It went 46.75. What are you talking about? Yeah, no. No, to 1,025. 1,025. And the Lexus 2011 Lexus LS 460, it went from $13,500 to $2,000. That car has accessories. It should be. That's a correction. That's actually wrong. It should go $2,000. The 250 is wrong. We'll scratch that out. This car had over 250,000 miles, and for cars 2011 it had that many miles. The adjustment was a bit.
Being an owner value, that's just the value.
Basically, that's just what they do. That's their opinion. And last on the agenda that I have are mobile home DOE results. And you'll see 68 mobile homes. Of those 68 mobile homes, all of them were no changes. All the same one. So they're all the same on the same complex. But we went through DOE and I guess you could say up there. That's all I had. I would entertain a motion to approve first. settlement agreement.
Make motion.
All of changes and the DOT grant.
Make a motion that we approve the settlement changes, automotive and mobile home, results is stated.
Motion said, you discussion. I'm good, aye.
Aye.
Those that thank you.
Thank you. Mhm.
This was a real problem.
Good morning. Happy summer school. I believe it is. Okay. We're going to start on page 7 with year 2022. Go back. We're going to start there. The homestead exemption on this particular property was removed in error. I believe it was due to the deed. It corrected, and we're going to reinstate the basic homestead exemption for 2022. Okay. On page 8, you have some commercial property changes. We sent the notices to the friends already, but we found a few errors, and we want to pull these particular properties. And these 3 were the first 2. Parcel 211-1826 was, I think this is the mobile home park. Yes. Yes, okay, let me make sure I get that right. We corrected it from income to cost. We did that last year, and it looked like in 2023, we did not get that correction through. So we caught this before we sent this out to the owners and corrected it from income to cost. So that was a change in value at $1.357 million. But again, it did not go out, and it was not officially on our digest yet. So on number 2, parcel 365-18254 was another property that we corrected from income to cost, where we reduced, I think this might be a vacant lot that we outshowed, I'm not sure, from 416,100 down to 72,000.
It's a residential converted to restaurant, but it's no longer being used.
Thank you, Bob. All right. The third one is parcel 425-18210, and we adjusted it from the current use. Well, the current use is a medical office. I'm not sure what current use was on it before, but we corrected the value from the 10 million that we were getting ready to send out to the 3.5 million, which is a more equitable value for this particular property. Again, we had these pulled and not sent out. We will send these out with the notices also.
Just out of curiosity, do we know for these 3 what they were to
I think that they were pretty much the same. I think the white side was about 494, and I believe, I'm not sure about the second one. I'm looking at
It was, yeah.
And
It's a no change in value pretty much.
for the third one, I think Joey's gonna speak to that a little bit more because there's a 22 appeal on it. He'll speak to you about that when he gets to it. Okay? Alright. Now, everything else on page 9 through about page 31, I do believe, are all of the homesteads that the ladies were able to get in before we sent the notices out. So we're gonna send these out with the approvals, and there's a few denials in there too on the homesteads. There was a total, I can do a full sheet. There was exactly a total of 150 more approved by 9. So the total of 155 homesteads that the latest process as we met. We can break it down into 90 of them were basic homestead, 13 were 65 and older with low income, 5 were veterans under 62, 25 were L7, which is senior between 62 and 64. L8, 13 of them were 65 and older. We have 1 veteran between 62 and 64. We had another veteran that was over 65, and we had 2 people that filed for disability. And that's a total of 150 more approvals since our last meeting, and we had 5 denials. The 5 denials will have the right to appeal and to get their notices if they have the correct information.
You have already said this for, this, they went through all the applications.
They went through everything. This is it. Now, there are a few pending, a few documentations, and we'll be going through those throughout the year as we go each year. As the documents come in, we'll go ahead and get those. They did get touched, every single one. Good work. Some people worked up late and stayed over, came on weekends. Okay. Thank them. Good job. Okay, and out of all of the pages here, well, like I said, I went through the basics, the seniors and the veterans. I'm not going to go through every single one on all the pages. I'm going to go through a few other changes. We're going to go to page 25. So we're not going to go through every page. Okay, all right. Well, you already had me. Okay. The first two are one that we sent the notices out for these. We actually had those pulled back. And one parcel combined with the other. And Lynn can tell you the acreage if you need to know the acreage on that. I believe this is also a Cooper property. They combined the parcels for 2023. So parcel 171,255 is voided for 2020. We'll be voiding that parcel out. That parcel, I believe, was combined in the parcel 6. And the value changed on parcel 6 also. And as you notice, it did go down. So the parcel now is over 25 acres. And when it's over 25 acres, the price per acre tends to go down. So it is increasing value overall on this particular parcel. Then we will send a corrected notice out, or the notice will go out on Friday with the others, with the new value of just the one parcel. Okay. On 120 on the same page, 174,2592. You know, we went through the changes before we sent everything out, and another correction that was needed. At this particular parcel was 100% complete for 2023. We had it partially complete at 180,000, but we now corrected it to $497,000. But I think it's just what they paid for it. So we're going to send out the correct notice on Friday. On parcel 123, 176,1525. Another parcel that also was 100% complete. We had the vacant lot value of $35,000. We have corrected that before we get that sent out. Okay. On the next page, 26, number 128, parcel 183,351 is an ownership correction. There was an issue with the order of the deeds. We had that corrected, but that particular deed was missed. So we corrected the ownership on this particular parcel, and because of the deed that was skipped on this one, no change in value on that parcel. Okay. And on page 31. $161. It's parcel 795-1824. We had a life estate termination. So upon the termination of that particular estate, it reverted back to the remainder, and the homestead was true that they didn't have a chance to get homestead property if they want to. I'm not sure if the remainder actually lived, but the life estate was back. So we corrected the ownership on that one and the homestead on that. Parcel 161. Okay. Okay. And that is all I have on the homestead and the admin change. Any questions? Think about that. Okay. Do that.
I can make a motion to include the real estate property digest changes that any of us. I second.
Okay, well, think about on page 32. Gonna go over the BOE results for residential and the BOE and settlement conference. On June the 13th, we pretty much had no changes except for the top two, and they were just changed for, based on the market sales, and we want to just come in with their sales, we have ours, which makes the decision on what performance fee or whatever the market sales are saying. They reduced that with less than 10%. And on the second one, there was some condition issues. I'm not exactly sure what they were, because the appraiser just wrote condition issues, and the board reduced it about less than 6%. BOE on June the 14th, we had some changes less than 20%. The first one was, well, actually all of them were based on conformity. The highest one was at 18.4% on a townhouse agreement. But it was less than 20%. We don't recommend going any further with those changes on those three for that particular point. On June the 15th, we had changes on all of those, again, based on marketing, conformity, and sale that was by the owners and by the staff. And then on the last one, that is a vacant lot down at Fairplay, and the owner has the house next door. It's an adjacent lot. They own an adjacent lot next door, and they gave reduction, I believe, to the prior year value on that one. Usually, the lot next to the owner is reduced at a pretty good rate. It looked like we had them add the improved lot value, but since they own it, we are okay with doing that. We have no issue with that lot. Empty lot value next to the owner. Yeah. The next three at the bottom were BOE. Sometimes we do an agreement before the BOE, and the others were settlement. The one at the bottom is a settlement conference agreement of the 42%, almost 43% reduction. It's a vacant lot over in Riverside Gardens. It goes straight down 92 before you cross over into Fulton County. I don't know if you know that area right there on the left. There are some topo issues. He was describing that he only can build the front part of the lot build, and we were okay with the reduction of it on this lot due to the deposit issue.
He was wanting $4,000.
Lynn said
So we could not get that number.
Any other questions on the DFP? The other two were just, they were okay with the value, so we just went ahead. We have to be
So any discussion, please?
This was also titled.
yes.
Anybody, several, which is also.
Make a motion, the settlement conference results.
Discussion. Discussion.
Thank you.
Some commercial BOE and June 13th meeting, we have this one down,
parcel 425-18210, the building and 2 acre lot, West Fork, Business Park. BOE, we had it valued at $5,780,000, the BOE took it $2,800,000, which was a 51.6% change. And they based that the represent, this $5,780,000 was actually the purchase price of the property. And that's what we had it valued at because, that's our fair market value. But the representative said that it was a leaseback sale and it wasn't really a fair market sale, so I'm not real familiar with those leaseback sales. It's just, I know that they use the property to purchase it, and then they turn back around and lease it back from the owner that just purchased it from them. It's typical. So there's gotta be some money involved in that to be able to do that. But we do have the P261 showing that it was, fair market sale, so we have to use it, take it in the fair market sale. So we're gonna recommend that would be appealed further. Based on that reason.
This is for 0010.
The next one, 425-18210, yes, sir. And then from the DOE June 15th meeting, you can see the results of those, we'll cover those. And then from the DOE settlement conference, you can see the agreements for those, we were okay with those two as well, so. Like when we went to the one, the Supreme Court, on June 13th meeting.
What happened on the second time? For 44%.
Well, they were Cherokee Boulevard. The owner had purchased several properties on that road out of kind of an estate, but it was his family property that they purchased as a bulk sale, but not this property. I mean, they purchased it as a bulk sale, so we couldn't use it as their sell price because it was a family deal. But he had some other sales of uniformity of other buildings, and so that's what they decided to put it at the BOE. They did that for both of those buildings. Parcel 12 and parcel 6.822 for water.
In fact, the last one said no sewer. Doctors about that.
Yeah, this is on down, it's in that community, it's in what they call that overlay area, it's some special designated area, it's on down 92 going towards Portland from here all the way down. So they have a lot of special things you can do on either side, they have designated out. But he was saying that, there's no sewer to it, it's an old car wash that's on, and the house was on it. The house is obviously no value, but he can't get sewer to it, the county won't let him do anything with it, but a mini warehouse, I think is what he said proposed, that they could use it for, but the county wouldn't give them a permit to do that, since they already have two, one right down the road and one in front of it. And the closest sewer would be down close where the big quick trip is in Publix, but he said the only way he can get sewer to it is if there's the owner that maybe purchasing the property across the street, then he's gonna get sewer put in. He said that would be the only way he could get to the cross under 92. He said it would cost like $1 million just to get that sewer. So he said it's not cost feasible to him. I think he purchased his property out of the tax sale. At one time he just been hanging on to it. That's the reason. And we don't have any, he had some documentation from planning and zoning, so he's trying to get reverted back into residential zoning right now, so.
Okay. Guess we'll review this when it's appropriate. The particular article, we'll do it just in case the document moments. But we're
And that's it with these are vacant lots. We can always, once the things change, we can look at it again. So I'm not really perturbed about the vacant lots.
Well, I would entertain a motion to approve all these items as noted with the exception of 00110 and we do it, take the next step.
Make a motion that we approve the commercial DOE finding results, with the exception of, 425-182-0010, which will, require further consideration.
Okay.
What's the second? You put it on this next. I'll set it out. Thank you. I should have. Thank you. Only did we have two mistakes.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
The status things are gonna be on the first page at the bottom. Right, the first one I have is 141.5. JJ Ranch, actually bought this property in 2022. And, I sent out the 30-day letter, and they did come within that allotted time to continue the covenant under wildlife. It's a house with 110 acres on Lee End Drive. I recommend that we approve that application at this time, and it was a continuation from 2017. Parcel 247-258, it was a renewal, application, and, actually, Adrian found it, it was under the ag, and it was previously approved by the board back in July 2022. But we did not put it on the digest for 22 in error. So we need to we need to put that on 22. It did go out 2023 on the digest. We're good there. So those are the only two I have. Okay, questions?
Entertain motion. Entertain motion to approve these two items as noted.
I make the motion that we approve the items as recommended by the director. That's right, that's right.
I second.
Any discussion? Motion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Picked on the agenda, I think I'm going to do business to every year.
I just spoke to address the state's attorney about the penalty provision under CUBA and if a waiver is requested. And we are coming up with a proposal. There isn't a straightforward or an easy way to say yes or no right off the bat. It has to be somewhat of, we're trying to get it down to like a 3-step inquiry. Because for situations where you're wanting to look to see if the trust is an alter ego of the person. And that is the terminology that they use. And if the trust is an alter ego of the person, then you do disregard the trust. And then you can look to the person who created the trust and their age to see if they meet the requirements. And that's essentially what they also do for homestead exemptions. And the inquiry is pretty basic and simple. The first 2 steps would be, is the creator of the trust also a trustee? And the second step is, does the creator and trustee receive the benefits? Are they getting the principal and income and assets from the trust? And if those 2 questions are answered yes, then it would be an alter ego. Beyond that, if it's not answered in the yes and it's a no, then you really have to do a deep dive into the trust documents and go into and do a thorough review, which at that point, I'm gonna come up with different avenues of how we could do that. One possibility is requiring an applicant who wants a waiver that they would have to get an independent opinion from an attorney, a trust in the state's an attorney, stating that this is an alter ego, and they would have to review the documents, and then the the taxpayer and their attorney can present that, but we want it to be an independent opinion from someone. So that is a possibility, but I'm working on the details of that to present to all of you. Because I think in the situation where it's a living revocable trust, the creator of the trust is the trustee, and they're getting the income and benefits of it, it's a very clear, yes, you can look to that person and not the trust. But when it gets complicated, when it's multiple parties, the trustee is not the creator of the trustee has passed away. There's different beneficiaries and heirs in the trust. Then it gets much more complicated, and you have to have someone who is well versed in trusting estates get there. So I'm working on that. I was finally able to speak to this attorney yesterday. So he's going to assist me in coming up with just the simple steps to that and moving forward, staff will be able to implement that.
Actually, need a meeting to the third party to come up with a fee, not developable is, or third party to county.
That's definitely a possibility. I know the attorney that I spoke to, he was like, I recommend charging an administrative fee, but I think that would be difficult because I think that would be challenged. It would be that we are taxing someone. So they're trying to come up with a way, because we don't want that to be on the board of assessors, because it will be cost effective. But I don't know if these scenarios really come up that often. So we're trying to think of a way, and I think of having an independent opinion that the taxpayer who wants the waiver has to provide that to us. I think that would be a good possibility.
Developing a good approach.
Yes.
Our chief prayer like many
Definitely. Thank you, Mayor. So we are at assessment notices. The assessment notices are at the printer. So we have sent 2,560 commercial notices, corporate 51,423 residential, and personal property 2,015. So they're processing, they will print, and they will put the envelopes along with the letter, the cover letter that we approved. And the projected mail date is June 23rd. So most of the heavy lifting, getting the numbers together, are now over, and the new target is the digest. So the digest numbers. So far, we are seeing, based on the notices, we are seeing that there has been some growth in Douglas County. We are showing inflational growth, as you all know. Opposite prices going up, as well as new development. So we are seeing some growth. I have no growth numbers yet, but that will be forthcoming as soon as we start diving into the digest. So we statutorily are required to pass the digest with the tax commissioner's office, so they can work with the school boards and the commissioners. Officially, we are on the same database now, so pretty much have passed the digest, but not officially, but we are seeing the same thing. It's not like in the past where we had to send the documentation and the balances. We are now effectively on the same platform. So what I have is what they see. So that's a good thing. So passing the digest to the tax commissioner's office is just saying yes. I'm officially done with my corrections. You can go ahead and ready for billing. So that's where we are. In terms of the digest, so we'll be getting numbers to the board as soon as we have them, and the board also needs to approve us passing the digest to so at our next meeting, I think we will officially sign off on the digest pass to the tax commissioner's office. We are awaiting property maintenance to get some quotations for the front. So it's still, they're working on it. They're getting other people to come in and that's where we are, where that is concerned. I'm looking to do some form of thank you to the staff probably this weekend. They really went above and beyond, and we had all hands on deck, all staff, and I'm really proud of the staff, and I feel good to know that they did help when we needed it. Trying to do something probably this Friday. That's all I have.
Okay, I would like to contribute the money. I would recommend for the Assessors, we can build money to start a little staff get together, staff appreciation get together. I know we used to do it for a Christmas party, and I thought about it. We haven't done a Christmas party for the last few years. That was when we, as a group, showed the folks a little appreciation. We had, because of COVID and all, we didn't do it for a couple of years. We kind of fell out about it, but I can discuss with you more in depth. I do something. Show my appreciation.
Sounds good to me. So that's it from my desk, and I thank the board for the support that I've been getting, and I look forward to continued support this particular group. So let's keep it rolling.
Okay.
Yes. So in addition to the staff appreciation you're talking about this Friday, I would like to also get something written in their personnel files, thanking them for going up above and beyond.
Very good idea.
So whatever form or fashion you do that, I also want to look forward to that recommendation as well.
Awesome.
If you could, if you would drop the letter to that effect and we could all endorse it, that would be great.
Awesome.
Yeah. But that was a big push.
It was.
Understaffed and big.
It's absolutely
Changing new programs. All the, people that we've had is been very good job.
I think so too. I lift my hat to the staff. Could not happen without
I have one. Good man. Well, I guess, but we could, this would be a set back from next week.
That's correct.
Due to conflicts, I'm requesting to do July 12th.
I was like, the day of July 12th, Wednesday, July the 12th, that would be. Wednesday, July 12th. Right, that was something. Wednesday, July 12th. Being that they did, so we, entertain a motion to adjourn.
And make a motion that we adjourn today's.
Second. Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.